Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to Aditya Academy's ALUMPICS 2026. I'm Cinderella Chakraborty, and it's an absolute privilege to be your host today. We are gathered to celebrate the incredible journey of our alumni, inspire our current students, and relive some cherished memories. We are so glad you're here with us on Zoom to be the part of this special occasion. Now, it's my profound honor to introduce our esteemed Director of Academics, Savita Ma'am, who will share her welcoming remarks for Olympics 2026, sharing the vision and spirit of alumni reconnection. Please welcome our esteemed speaker for the welcome keynote address.
Hello, very good morning to all of you. I'm really thrilled to see our ex-students today. I'm so proud of them seeing on the screen today after a long time, especially. Uh, you are really welcome on the platform. It feels really a great sense of joy and pride to see my students who once filled the classrooms, corridors, and canteens are now have returned as a proof of everything to this institution was always meant to be. On behalf of our institution and the entire academic family, I extend a warmest welcome to each one of you and everyone here. The word alumni is actually taken from a Latin word, which means nourish. So, precisely, I think the meaning is bond. Now, it is nourishment, mutual, and enduring. You were shaped here, but in return, you shape us in many ways. Maybe you don't realize so. You bring with you something that no curriculum can teach and no examinations can measure. The world you have navigated since the time you crossed the threshold of your school has made you wiser, more resilient, and more capable. This is a reunion, I may say, with a purpose, definitely. It's a celebration and the spirit that to unite us again, especially to strive curiosity and rekindling of the same spirit of the years ahead. The journey of learning really never truly ends because still we do learn at this age. The syllabus changes, the classrooms evolve, but the heart of education remains constant. It's about becoming more thoughtful, more compassionate, and more equipped to contribute. Each of you is a living chapter in the story. To our alumni who have always been in touch, thank you for never letting go. And to our students who are watching today, you are an inspiration to them. So I wish to acknowledge something deeply meaningful about this year's gathering. This theme of reconnection is not incidental. We live in an age of constant acceleration. So careers pull us in different directions. Geography separates us, but time quietly accumulates between us. And yet, here you are. That says everything. The relationships formed within these walls was between the students and the teachers and the individual and with an idea, of course, are among the most enduring as a person to carry on. So let us make this most of precious of this hours together. Let us share the stories, celebrate each other's achievements, support, and next generation, and live with a nostalgic joy. Once again, dear ones, you are warmly welcome here wholeheartedly. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the inspiring words. Before we begin, let's freeze the moment. We would love to take a virtual group photo. So please turn on your cameras and give us your biggest smiles.
Give us 1 second. Good evening, everyone. We're on the count of three, two, one. Can you and I smile?
Say cheese.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. So, let us now take a moment to witness how beautifully our school has evolved over the years. For our alumni, the school will always hold memories of familiar classrooms, corridors, and special moments. Today, the same school has grown with new avenues, modern facilities, and enhanced learning spaces to support the dream and aspiration of its students. This video is a glimpse of the school's journey forward, while staying rooted in the values that shaped every alumnus right here. So let's sit back and enjoy the video. So, we are excited to begin today with a thought provoking panel discussion on navigating early career decisions. For many students, the transition from school to higher education and into the professional world comes with important choices. Which course should you pursue? How do you identify the right career path? What opportunities should you explore early on? And how can the decisions you make today shape your future? These questions can often feel confusing, but hearing from those who have successfully navigated similar journeys can provide some valuable clarity and inspirations. So today's panel brings alumni from diverse fields and career paths. They will share their personal experiences, the key decisions that influenced their journey, the challenges they encountered, and the lessons they learned along the way. From choosing academic pathway to exploring opportunities, building skills and adapting to them. So let's dive into the exciting discussion and hear from our alumni. Please join me in welcoming them to the virtual stage. First, we have Dr. Nandini Das. Dr. Nandini is an assistant professor of economics at Christopher Newport University, Virginia, USA. An alumna of Aditya Academy, she has studied economics from Lady Brevin College and Jadavpur University before earning her PhD from Virginia Tech. Her research focuses on development and agricultural economics, working closely with organizations such as the World Food Program, USAID, and the World Bank to improve livelihoods in South Asia and East Africa. So, Nandini, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's so good to see you all, and it's great to
Yeah,
be
same
virtually
here.
back.
Same here. So, Nandini, you chose economics at a time when many students thought of studying engineering or medicine. So, looking back, were there experiences or teachers or opportunities at Aditya Academy that gave you the confidence to take a less conventional path?
Yes, absolutely. Let me pull up my slides just to. It was definitely, I think, it was in school that I first heard about economics, and so I just want to start by saying that I was a very like not the top scorer. I was an average student. I would say average to good student. And I'd sometimes top the class in math. So I was really interested in math. But if you think about it, as a contrast, I also like literature a lot, which seemed like, oh, these are two very different things. And I started thinking very deeply about this when I was in class 9 or 10, that what should I do? I like math, but I also like the human um, aspect of things. So that's when I was given this option when I in 11, 12, that I could choose the subject of economics, which is a wonderful combination of both of these things. So what was great was I was also very much drawn to physics. But Aditya Academy gave me this option of, okay, you can do physics, chemistry, math, and economics. So I could explore both physics and economics. So even when I was in 11th, I was like kind of confused that, okay, I'm so drawn to physics. But then finally, I think I realized that physics was very specific, or even like, physical science was very like, okay, I mix acid and base and I will get salt and water. When I didn't like that definitiveness, so I was like, okay, econ seems something that, studies human behavior and there is no specific answers to question. And it's still very mathematical. So I did not really have to say goodbye to math if I studied something like that. So I think that was a combination during that time that I was seeing in other CBSE school. It was a very rare combination. So I'm very thankful to Aditya Academy for giving me that space and giving me that option that, okay, you have the space to explore what you like. And definitely I have a long list of teachers I definitely want to thank. But I think Prince Sir's econ classes were the highlight for me, because that's what made me choose econ for the rest of my life. I've been studying econ like bachelor's, master's, then PhD. So I never really could say goodbye. So yeah, even later on, like I know I for my colleagues as well, like I know a lot of people started studying econ later on, but I started studying in class 11, which I don't know if it helped, but it definitely helped me choose my path for the rest of my life. So
Okay. Thank you, Nandini. Next, distinguished professional Rohan Biswas followed a path many students can relate to. So, completing mechanical engineering from NIT Durgapur before discovering his passion for marketing and pursuing an MBA from FMS Delhi. Today, he serves as a regional program manager at Dabur India, combining analytical thinking with creativity to build impactful consumer experiences. So, my question to Rohan: Rohan, you have shifted from from engineering to marketing. So, two are very different worlds. So, during your school years at Aditya Academy, what skills or mindset developed there later helped you adapt or reinvent yourself professionally?
Hi everyone. Hi teachers. It's I think what Nandini highlighted as well. I think it's heartwarming to see. Actually, this is the hall we used to sit. I think there have been multiple instances of us getting punishments here as well. So it's a long journey. It's a long journey. It's almost 10 years plus that I've come back to here. So one interesting thing I'd like to, before I come back to the question, uh, the organizers asked me for photographs, school photographs, that if you had any. And when I asked my mom that if I have any school photographs, the only school photograph that I had was my yearly school photograph that were taken. So we used to do schooling in a very different world where phones are not allowed, phones are not a thing. So I have no school photographs, which was very surprising for me. So that is one of the part that I did not get much of a photographs. I'll just share a small screen. Screen back. So this is the only thing I could get. Is it visible?
Yeah,
Like,
it was in class 4, right? 4.
Yeah, I have. That is the only thing I got. So it's class 2, class 4, and class 5. And so we used to live in a different day. And coming back to the question of how it impacted me with my decisions, I feel Aditya gave me an understanding very early into my life how to adapt to things. and that is something that has helped me in my journey as well. Starting off with engineering, and also I have this philosophy that has helped me in my life is to fail fast. You do not need, if you commit to something, and if you, there's an even halfway through the journey you feel that there needs to be a change to it, you need to make that change immediately, and that is something that I take to my heart as well. I started off engineering looking into it that this is something I want to do, and that is something I was very interested in. But I think in the second year, I was very well aware that engineering might not be the thing I want to go into. Then again, I combined what I liked, and that was maths, and that was the second part of it. I love talking to people, and third is optimizing. Coming from a middle class background, optimizing is something it is always part of your life. I think that the three combined, and then the MBA thing happened, and now it's just I think I'm very raw into my professional journey as well. It's just almost 3 years right now. So yeah, it's a combination of both. These are my school photos, and this is the better photo that I have. This is my graduation photo that I have. We'll come back to it later. So yeah, I think in this way it was really impactful in a way, and I think I'm very thankful for the teachers, and I think it feels really surprising for me to say, but I'm really thankful that they were very, very strict during my times in school. So I still remember those punishments. I think that has helped me down the line in my life. So yeah, thankful for everything.
Thank you, Rohan, for sharing about your journey. So my next question is to Dr. Nandini. Nandini, you're joining from, you're right now at Blacksburg, right? Virginia,
Yes, ma'am.
USA. So
Yes,
what is the
yes.
time
It's
over there now? So what's time of
12:20 a.m.
Okay. So my second
midnight.
question
Yeah.
to you, Nandini, your work examines how policies influence real-life decisions among communities. So for students making earlier career choices today, how can they balance their interest with the pressure to choose careers perceived as safe or prestigious?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I faced several difficult times during my career as to like when I was confused, and I can share my experience, which I hope can help the students today. So so the first thing was, of course, I wanted to study economics. I knew that, and I saw most of my friends going for engineering or medical, but I really wanted to study economics. I was like, okay. And I tried to see what opportunities are there. And the good thing was, I saw that there are a lot of different things I can do after studying econ. So I just took the leap of faith. And I could see that from econ you could like do go into different several paths. So I think for all of my, I'll go through the difficult decisions I faced in my career, but the big thing for me was two questions. One is, do I like what I'm doing? Do I love what I have to do for the rest of my life? Is this something I can live? I wake up every day, and do I look forward to this? And the second question is, what career opportunities is it giving me? So econ, I saw that it obviously was not a popular choice, but still it had like different things I could do. And I was like, okay, I don't need to decide right now, but let me just get a bachelor's first. For my master's, of course, I had the option to do an MBA or a master's in econ. But I was so in love with econ, I was like, I want to know about this subject more. So for masters, I had to take like several competitive exams. So that was the first time I was taking competitive exams, because in class 12 it was easy for me because I was happy that all my friends were preparing for these engineering competitive exams and medical ones, and I was not prepared. So for masters, that was like the first time I was hit with these competitive exams. But then I was like, okay, I still think that MBA has more career options probably, but I am so in love with econ, so that kind of overpowered it. So still it was like, okay, I still see that with a master's in econ, I can be a data analyst, I can go into the industry and all of those things. So I was like, okay, master's in econ. So that was after my or during my master's, that was one of the things that I think was most difficult time, because I was almost going to the industry, and I took these interviews, I did an internship, I did all sorts of things, and it was one of the safe things because PhD is very dicey. It can go well, it can go like really bad as well. So industry was like, I think in my cohort in masters for Jadavpur University, like there were most of, like, I think only one or two of us chose to do a PhD, but most of the us went to industry. And then again, I felt that okay, PhD will limit my options, but I really liked being in the classroom, you know. And when I did the internship with some of the industry, and I was like, I do not like this. So I think that, of course, finding out what you will do in life and if this is a good, like a safe option is important, but also like you need to really ask yourself if you really like this. And when I was doing the internship with a company, I was like, I don't want to wake up every day and I don't want to take orders from a manager. And I just love the classroom. And if I'm done being a student, I want to be a teacher, you know, and I liked that so much. And so I was like, okay, this is the thing to do. And when I chose to do a PhD, is like, that is like, at that point you were restricting yourself a lot, right? Like, you can still, of course, nowadays you can do a PhD and go back to the industry, but if you really want to be in the industry, then you should not go for a PhD. So that, I think, was a very, like, the most difficult decision I had to make. And also I have to hedge, right? So I had this doesn't mean that I wasn't being I was being reckless, right? So as I was taking the GRE for going to the USA, I was also preparing for the JRF in India, right? So I cracked the JRF, which only like 1% of 1 percentile of all the test takers do. So I could do a PhD in India, but I also had the opportunity to come to the US. So if you find what you love and then have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan Z ready for yourself. All right. So because if I didn't get an opportunity to do a PhD in the US, I still could do a funded a PhD in India as well. So and finally, the job market in the US this year is terrible. So I applied to, I think, 150 jobs last year, and I got 6 interviews. So from 150, I think 110, or yeah, it was like countless jobs. I was desperately applying for jobs everywhere. And so, yeah, definitely you need to, I think overall, you need to understand what you like. And then, of course, just be ready to explore all the options that are available within that field, right? Which allows you to do what you love. So I applied for jobs in the Europe, in India, Australia, like anywhere I could see, anywhere who would hire, like who would hire a PhD in economics. And finally, I'll be joining as assistant professor in a Virginia State uh, liberal arts college. So I just want to briefly mention what do we do. We study trade-offs, which means that we have a limited amount of time, and everything we see in life, like resources are scarce. So economists study like these trade-offs, like how to best allocate the resources you have. And I talked about like what I learned in Aditya was like caring about people, right? Like, because the teachers cared for me and I want to give that back to the society. So every data point, I study people, and behind every data point also there's a person, right? So economists look at data, study trade-offs, but also every data point we understand that there is a person behind every data point. So economics is about, so we borrow from psychology and sociology a lot. Just briefly, I would talk you about just a small example as to how cool econ is. So this is a very common example. So imagine colonial India, a city was overrun with very harmful cobras, snakes, right? So the government just announced a very clever solution. They were like, okay, you bring me a dead cobra and I'm going to give you a small incentive. So what would you expect? Think about it for a few seconds, right? You would expect like people would just find cobras, kill them, and the cobra problem will be solved. And that's what the government also thought, that, okay, if we just announce a lump sum money or just a prize money for every dead cobra brought in, then this problem will be solved. So what happened was, instead, people were started breeding cobras, that, okay, we are just gonna start breeding cobras in our background. And so the cobra problem actually increased. So as policymakers, what do economists do? We try to design incentives which will make the society a better place to live. But sometimes you don't really know what policy can backfire. We call this a perverse incentive. So we study incentives, and it's not really as easy as it seems. So we use like long maths. We solve like pages of maths to really come to a good solution where we study incentives. So yeah, I just like I think there's a lot of like small things, and I think this will be posted on YouTube later on. I think I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to tell you one thing out of all the 8 points I've made is that I have failed multiple times in this journey. Like, you know, when I was doing my PhD, like just in my last degree, there's something called a qualifier exam, and I failed that. And there is a chance to retake it, so I retook it. I also failed actually my preliminary exams, and I retook it and passed it. So every time I failed, I wanted to quit, you know, and I didn't quit. I see a lot of students not being able to complete their PhD, but what made me like not quit is that I knew I loved this and I knew I wanted to do this. So I am not like, even during my PhD cohort, I was not the best student, but I was a consistent student. I didn't give up. So that's why it's really important to figure out that whether you love doing what you do. And just one thing is very important, that if you know that you love doing this, you'll not give up, right? I mean, like failing is not the last thing. So if you fail, it's okay. You know you love this, so you'll keep going. So that's what made me successful at the end. Like, you know, there is this word, like the saying in Bengali, "Shesh bhalo jar, shab bhalo tar." So it's okay. Like, you know, at the end, if you succeed, no one will remember how many times you failed. So I remember failing even in econ and 11, like midterm or something, right? So it's okay. Fail, get scolded by teachers, study, shake it off, get up. It's okay. So you'll fail 100 times, but that will only ensure that you succeed later on. So that's it. And feel free. I don't know if I can stay till the end because it's really late for me. I might log off at some point. So I know there's a Q&A session coming up. I'll try to say as much as I can, but feel free to reach out to me. Any of the, like, for all the students out there, you know, if I can help you in any way, my email address is very small, and let's end that's at vt.edu. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on all social media. I have a website as well. So feel free to reach out to me and I can answer any questions. And this quote, by the way, is not by John Locke. It's a joke. I love memes. So I just, I don't know if you notice, I have this, like, you know, a lot of my job is just making memes so that I'm relatable to my students. So yeah, feel free to reach out, and thank you. Thank you. Has been great.
That was great, Nandini. It was so inspiring. It was so inspiring
you,
to know
ma'am.
your story. Okay. So, my second question to Rohan. Rohan, coming to you. Many students worry that one decision at the age of 17 or 18 will define their entire future. So, having successfully changed directions yourself, what advice would you give students about navigating uncertainty and staying open to new opportunities?
Hi. Sorry, I don't have a slide. As Nandini said that she did not want to work under bosses. Sadly, I have to work under bosses, so I did not get a time to create slides. So I'll keep it straight and I'll keep it quite pointed, because this is a question that I face myself when I was in my class 10s and especially in my class 12s. So engineering, as most of here in the crowd, is the most go-to area to go into, and also especially coming from a family of 3 IITians in my family. So I did not have much of an option really to get into. And plus, I liked engineering, mechanical engineering specifically, a lot, because I like the idea of seeing the change you want to make in the world. But as I got into an NIT and it started for the first 2 years, it was not something that intrigued me, honestly. And luckily or unluckily, COVID happened. And that gave me time, almost of a revolt. I think for everyone in this world, that was a time when people used to, because they were sitting at home, they had a lot of time to overthink, to a sense. I also overthink, and I thought, what can I do? Because this is not something I'm going to do full time. And that is, I asked myself one question: what would be one thing that you would be happy to wake up every day and go to work? And for me, it was always about interacting with people, trying to help them in some way or the other, maybe in a more economist way where I earn a lot as well. And that is where this is mixing coming in. Then that is where I think MBA came in. It was also sales and marketing was always in my family, as well as my father was in an LIC agent, so I had seen it, and that is something that intrigued me a lot because, and also I was fond of as Andy said about memes. I am very fond of advertisements. I think there will be people in this crowd who you remember advertisement of around 20 years back. There is like "Ye Diwar Kyun Nahi Tootti" of Ambuja Cements. These are like taglines that everybody remembers. So, and that is where that is my motto right now as well in life, is to create something that lives on more than yourself, that you live in this world. You leave a mark that doesn't define you. Presence isn't required. It's about how you can do it in this world, and that is where I think that comes in. I think people, because of the societal pressures and everything, there is always this thing ki this is the final decision, I have to get it right. It's not. Uh, there is a statement, again, I'll quote some very famous, I am a very big sports enthusiast. So I'll quote Roger Federer when he said that in his life he has played over 10,000 points and he has lost almost 40% of those points. Yes, he is considered one of the best, if not the best, tennis players of the whole generation has ever seen. So what he told was, it's what makes someone great is not the fact that they lost, is the fact that they want to come up after they have lost. I think that is very important in life. I have had because I have given 2-3 very important competitive exams which have a success rate of less than 1% in India. First IIT JEE and then CAT. And for the year I did IIT JEE, this was the first year that there were negative markings. So that was very new again. But you have to adapt. I gave exam. I did not get into an IIT. That was, I consider it as a failure of mine. But looking forward, I don't see it as much. Got into an NIT. I thought engineering was my thing. 2 years down the line, I thought engineering also was not my thing. Then I was trying to get into an IIM. Then I thought ABC was my thing. Then I got into FMS because I was a fresher. I did not have an experience. So FMS was the best thing I should do. And then I wanted to do an FMCG company. For that, HUL, ITC were the best opportunities. But I thought Tabor is the next thing I can draw into. So there should always be an adaptability that will help people. And also the fact that we live in a bubble in this world right now. There is this social media bubble of everybody floating their achievements. The problem is people do not float their failures. So everybody thinks that everybody is a success. So that is a problem, and that is the bubble we live in. Because when we were students, luckily we did not have social media much. So we used to see the failures as well. We used to see the success as well. Now we are in a bubble where we only see the success of people, and that makes us question ourselves. And that is where one more statement I will say from a teacher who told me was, you are in a race with yourself. Have parameters, have some pointers that you want to reach in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the line. Race against yourself. Do not race against a crowd. If you race against yourself, the money, the fame, everything will follow yourself. Don't follow the fame, don't follow the money. It will follow you if you follow the right path. Set right goals for yourself and you'll get there. And always respect elders. I'm not saying take every advice that an elder gives, but do not ever hid it away. They do not know. I have made this mistake, and I do not want you guys to make this mistake, because we in this era of rebellion, era of this 16 to 18 is a rebel era where we do not want to listen to anyone. But I'm not saying listen to it completely, but always take it into the opinion, and then that is very important in life. So yeah, that's thoda bahut zyada gyan. I told my office colleagues that I'm going to go into an alum session, and the first reply that I got from my boss is, "तुझे ज्ञान देना है." मैंने बोला, "सर आप देते हो, आज मैं एक दिन दे देता हूँ." So yeah, that's what call. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, Rohan. It was very interesting to learn about your journey. So now it's time for an energetic round of rapid fire with all the alumni. So the rules are simple. I'll ask you 2 questions and you'll get 10 seconds to answer a question. Are we ready for that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let's start with Nandini. So Nandini, what is one skill from your career that you wish you had started developing in school?
Learning how to communicate better.
Okay. And what's one common assumption about economics that is not true?
That we understood finance and stock
Okay.
market.
Okay, well said. Okay, Rohan, uh, next question to you. So, what's one decision in your career that had the biggest impact on where you are today?
I think changing from engineering to an MBA in my second year of college. So that is where I decided. So
Okay. And what's that one skill that helped you to shift from engineering to marketing?
I think being middle class, that adaptability helps always. So I think that is the biggest thing.
Okay. So, next question to Dr. Orithro Guho. So, what is the one habit that has helped you succeed as a researcher?
I would say being inquisitive, being a student throughout life.
That is, yeah, that is important. Okay, and what's the one thing that AI students should be excited about rather than worried?
Lots of opportunities. New technologies bring new
Mhm.
challenges. New challenges bring new opportunities.
Okay. Next, we have Orithro Bose. So, Orithro, what's the one skill that separates good software engineers from the great ones?
I think the attention to details, because when you are making a software, you should consider it that it is going to be used by real customers. So thinking from their perspective helps a lot. Yeah.
Well said. And what's one emerging technology that today's students should keep an eye on?
I think it's just vibe coding actually. Like you just need to have an idea and you can just code it up in like 30 minutes, have a POC ready and check if it could really solve something useful. Yeah.
Okay. Well said. So we now come to the second panel discussion. We now turn to the second panel discussion. The topic is building the future, AI innovation and human potential. So the world of work is evolving faster than ever before. Technologies like AI are transforming industries, creating new opportunities and giving rise to careers that was not known a decade ago. So for students, this raises important question about the skill, mindset and experiences needed to succeed in the future. So to explore these opportunities, we are joined by a distinguished group of alumni who are building careers at the forefront of innovation. They will share their journey, the emerging trends they see, and how students can prepare for a rapidly changing world. So I think the discussion will offer valuable insights into the future of the careers, the impact of technology, and the role that human potential will continue to play in shaping tomorrow. So let's welcome our panelists and begin the discussion. So first we have Dr. Orithro Guho. He is an AI researcher at AT&T in New Jersey, USA. So after completing his bachelor's and master's degree from the ISI, he earned his PhD from University of Michigan and conducted postdoctoral research at Duke University. Today, his work lies at the intersection of statistics and AI. So beyond his work, he enjoys playing a variety of sports and is actively involved in cricket. So my first question to you, now, statistics is not a field that many students encounter deeply during the school. So, reflecting on your time at Aditya Academy, how did your early education shape the curiosity and analytical thinking that eventually led you towards research in AI?
Let me share my slides. Let me know when you see them. Sorry. Okay. Do you see my slides? Hello.
Yes.
I've got to say something. I cannot hear. See you. Okay. So a bit about my journey first. This is one of the pictures that the organizers asked me to maybe arrange for. This is from 22 years back, so it's been a long time. I couldn't unfortunately find other pictures. There were so many friends that I met through school, and I've kept meeting them from time to time afterwards. And yeah, enjoyed the journey throughout. Now, coming back to your question, I'll first reflect on my journey a little bit. After Aditya Academy, I went to Bhavans for my plus twos. Then I did my undergrad and master's from Indian Statistical Institute, following which I did a PhD in statistics from University of Michigan, and then Duke. And now I'm a research scientist at AT&T. Interestingly, my current job, so this is a timeline from Google Trends in terms of how machine learning evolved and generative AI evolved with respect to what people were searching over time. So, and these are marked at time points where I joined my job, I joined my PhD program, etc. So you'll notice that generative AI, which forms 90% of my work research right now, that didn't even begin when I joined my current job. And machine learning, which forms the remainder and which I sort of did my PhD on, that also barely had started when I joined my PhD program. But what helped me develop an interest or move towards research was, as I mentioned, trying to constantly learn. And at Aditya, I think with help from all my teachers, Shobita ma'am, Paramita ma'am, Moushami ma'am, Manushi ma'am, to name a few of them, uh, I had always learned to be a student for life, essentially, trying to be inquisitive. There were several quizzes that were organized, science quizzes, math quizzes, all kinds of quizzes. So that helped me develop a knack for challenging problems, challenges. I always liked solving challenging math problems. So that helped me sort of get an idea of what stat could be. And that led me to ISI. Basically, I wanted to solve difficult problems in math. So that's where I got introduced to Olympiad problems, and then took the entrance exam for ISI and then moved on to that. But essentially, being a student throughout life is what Aditya has taught me. This is a testament to that.
Oh, wow. That's
This was
great.
a couple of years back and I try to make it a point to visit school from time to time.
Okay, thank you, Arithro. So next we have Arithro Bose, is a software engineer at Microsoft, where he works on improving systems within the Windows ecosystem. A departmental gold medalist from IIEST Shibpur, he joined Microsoft after a successful internship with the Viva Goals team. So beyond technology, he enjoys gaming, table tennis, and badminton. So my first question to you. Now, from school student to gold medalist and Microsoft engineer, what aspects of your experience at Aditya Academy helped build the discipline and the resilience required to thrive in such competitive environments?
Thank you, ma'am, for the introduction. I'll just share my screen. Yeah, so I'll just quickly go through my journey. So till 2019, I was in St. Mary's School, and then to align more with the JE syllabus, I had to switch to a CBSE school, and Aditya Academy was one of the reputed schools which was closer to my home. So I took admission there. Uh, Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time physically going to the school because I joined in 2019 April, but then COVID hit around the end of that year, and we all went to online mode for classes. But yeah, after my JE, I went to IIS to Shibpur and took BTech in IT there. I also did my internship in Microsoft in the summer of 2024, and from which I got that return offer. And then currently I'm working with Microsoft as in full time. So yeah, like this was one of the photos I had to find a lot to get these photos actually. And uh, yeah, one of my best memories was actually like I really loved the chemistry practical labs that we had. And the thing with my class was I took PCM with CS. So even though I was going to school in the Damdam branch, but our class was registered to the Barashat branch. So for the boards, practicals and all, we had to take this bus rides to Barasat, to the Barasat school, and there we had to give the practicals. This is actually a photo from that time. Yeah. So the things that helped me the most was being consistent rather than cramming, because whenever like I'm consistent, I don't need to like panic at the last moment. That really helped me a lot. And during COVID, everything went online, and so I actually did my JEE preparation from YouTube. So yeah, that was one thing that I have to adapt to. And have like since I took PCM with CS, so on the CS side of it, I was also quite in touch. And since I was already preparing for JE and also the board's preparation was also going on alongside. And yeah, there's a saying that you are the average of the five people around you. So have good friends and listen to your teachers and all. And the faculty at Aditya Academy was really supportive with the JE prep and all. Yeah, so that was good as well. Then I went to IST Shipur, and like Microsoft was already like one of my dream companies to work at actually. So the moment I joined college, I started with the preparation with problem solving and coding and all. And honestly, I didn't target for the gold medal, but since the syllabus of IT was so much similar to like the thing I was preparing for, that means problem solving. Like the course was very much similar to the interview preparation for these big tech companies. So I was mostly consistent with the like topics being taught in college, and that medal was just the byproduct of it actually. So even I even cracked this ICPC regionals with my team. So ICPC is like the Olympics of programming. I went to stage 2 in Chennai, and I was also able to publish my first research paper, which was part of my BTech project. Yeah, so coming to that, like cracking Microsoft, it was actually very competitive because COVID had just ended, and there was an inflation in the hiring during the COVID time, and like the hiring during like post COVID really went down actually. So there were like Microsoft came on campus for internship, and there were 300 applicants who applied for that. And there was an online assessment. 26 of these 300 candidates cleared that coding test. So this 26 had like we had 2 rounds of interviews after that online test. 7 made it past the first round, and after the second round, there was just 3 of us who got the offer actually. Yeah, and that was my first corporate interview. So the night before, I was like really nervous and excited at the same time. Yeah, and yeah, then I did my internship in summer of 2024, and I had just one thing that I kept in mind that to get the return offer, only business needs should be the only reason that stopped me from getting that. I everything that is in my control, I should be able to deliver that. Yeah, that was my only goal, and thankfully, I got that return offer. It was 9th of August. I remember on a random Friday afternoon, I got this full-time offer mail from our placement cell, and yeah, it was really like great. So far, life at Microsoft is really great. So for these freshers at Microsoft, they sponsor orientation week in the US in Seattle. And it was my first time crossing international borders, so I was really excited. We extended another week with our own money, obviously. And so we went to Las Vegas, LA, and we had layovers at Dubai and NYC as well. And the Redmond campus in US, it's nothing less than a city. Like you won't even like realize when you entered the office. Like it's just continuous road. The city, like the actual city, just merges with the office campus. Yeah, yeah. I think that is it.
Okay. Thank you, Aritro. So my next
Thank.
question to Aritro Guho. So as AI becomes increasingly integrated into everyday life, what human skills do you believe students should focus on developing to remain relevant and make meaningful contribution alongside these technologies?
You're on mute.
Aritro Guho, you're joining from New Jersey, right?
Sorry, yeah. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the
So,
question. I have, sorry, did I interrupt you?
no, that's okay. So
Okay,
it must be,
please go ahead.
please go ahead.
No, for your question, I have a slightly long-winded answer. I'll share my slides to show. Okay. So in terms of skills required, so I was also told that students would be interested in knowing about careers from like what to pursue, etc. So I'll mix my answer with that. So this is a picture that I I like. I have seen many times. I guess many of you have seen. So it speaks about ikigai. Ikigai is about a combination of four things: what you're good at, what you love, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. Now, what you love will change over time as you go into your life in your 30s, in your 40s. The meaning of what you love will change. So that's not something stable to go on. What you can be paid for, it depends on how well you can market what you're good at. So that leaves us with two things essentially: what the world needs, which is not in your hands, but the world doesn't need typically one thing, it'll need a ton of things, and then you can pick from that what you're reasonably better at. There's a quote from Ravi Thakur that I really like, that says, "I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy." So what do I mean by that? The three skills that you might require in the future. AI literacy, of course, goes beyond saying, because everything is about AI right now. So you need to understand the benefits and limitations of AI, experiment with the tool.
Sorry to
Sorry,
interrupt. Your screen is not visible to anyone if you are sharing.
it's not.
It's sharing. It's showing started screen, but it's not visible. You try
Sorry.
again.
Can you see right now?
No, it's not visible.
Can you see right now?
No.
Sorry, my bad. How about right now? Still no?
No.
Let me just a second. Sorry. Can you see it right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, sorry. I'll go back to this slide. Sorry about the delay. Slideshow, play from current slide. Okay, so this is a picture that I really like. It says about ikigai. There are four things here, right? What you love will change over time, and what you can get paid for depends on how well you can market what you're good at. So there are really two things that you need to care about: what the world needs, and what the world needs will be multitude of things. It's not one thing. And what you're good at, and how can you adapt to that? How can you find something that you're good at and merge it with what the world needs? I really like this quote from Ravi Thakur. It says, "I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy." In terms of the three skills that you would require going into the future, AI literacy goes beyond saying. You need to understand the benefits and limitations of AI. AI is a lot of AI is the future, so you need to experiment with the tools and understand what works, what doesn't work, etc. But beyond that, leadership skills, communicating, learning how to communicate ideas clearly and efficiently, and understanding the challenges of people. That's very essential. And also problem solving. Try to be curious and thoughtful. Ask thoughtful questions. Try to know people. What are people struggling with? AI is a tool. AI doesn't have stakes. The stakes come from you. So you need to understand what the stakes of the people are. I'll go into what problem solving means in this case. For an example, right? If I were a 16-year-old like you guys right now, what would I try to identify? How would I try to identify what problems to solve? So this is a World Economic Forum website. I went into it and I searched, okay, what are the top challenges that the world sees in the next 10 years? And there are several things: extreme weather events, some of it due to AI, misinformation, disinformation, due to building of data centers, pollution, natural resource shortages, cyber insecurities, inequalities. Now, the world has progressed at a very fast pace. And fast pace progression almost always means the progress is not uniform. And that leaves a lot of gaps. So, and gaps means that there will be challenges. And because it has progressed so fast, now these are the challenges that we face because of that. And that gives rise to new opportunities. new careers as a result of it. And all of this is basically focused on problem solving, trying to identify what problems can you solve for the world and for other people. For example, there'll be challenges in climate and earth systems related to weather events, pollution, natural resource shortages. There'll be public health issues because of biodiversity loss, diseases caused by changing environments. There'll be cybersecurity issues, policy and law issues because of all the inequality in the world. Some of you will choose to become journalists, will choose to pursue economics, law, sociology. We need a lot of those folks in our society going forward. And also business and finance and risk, and because there's a lot of debt going into the world in the future, so that leaves also opportunities for that to become a career. Now, what about the skills? How do you get the skills that I talked about, leadership skills, communication, etc.? One very good idea, which Nandini also pointed out: teach. Find anything that you're good at, not good at. Find anyone who is willing to listen. Just teach. Hopefully, you get the perspective of the other side of the teachers, what they go through when they teach you. So, and that hopefully helps you appreciate them a little more. And also, you learn to understand what the other side needs and how do you communicate. Additionally, play a team sport. Try to coordinate. Try to work with people. It's very important to have some of those qualities which a team sport teaches you. Lastly, this is my contact. So anybody, feel free to reach out to me whenever you need to. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So my second question to Orithra Bose. As someone who has recently shifted from university into the tech industry, so what trends in AI and software development should students pay attention to? And how can they prepare themselves for the different careers?
Yeah, I'll just quickly pull up my slides. Let me know once my screen is visible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember there was a tweet from Sam Altman around the time of November 2022 that there's this thing called Chat GPT that has launched, and we just asked people to go and try. So at that time, it was like a fun toy that people play around with it. But in real world use case, it was still quite lacking behind. But today, like after joining Microsoft and over this I think around 3 to 4 years, AI has exponentially become a lot better than what it used to be in 2022. Today, you can just, I made a couple of projects during my college for because these interviews required you to have at least like 1 or 2 projects apart from your problem solving skills. So at that time, I remember each project would take me around like a week or two to build. But when I look back now, with the tech that I have around me in regards to AI and all these models that we have, each project would take like a day. And I'm not even exaggerating. It would literally take a day to build those. And in all these big tech companies nowadays, there is a push for AI usage. It's not optional anymore. Like you have to use AI. The expectations have gone a lot higher, and even from the freshers' perspective, previously it used to be like that in the interviews they used to just ask you like coding questions and all. But I think eventually the format of interviews are going to change, and they're going to focus more on system design as a whole. Like, how do you scale your software to like millions of people? Because that is something, I think system design is something that is very much specific to the use case you are trying to solve. And AI in general, it's trained on generic world data. So it won't have much knowledge on the system design aspect of software engineering. So I think system design has quite an important role like in future, and you should really like start learning about it and like thinking about the design as a whole. And with AI in place, you just need to have an idea now. if you want to test that very quickly, you can just wipe code it out and see if it really works. So idea is the biggest USP now. Anyone can be a software engineer now, um, because there is really no friction in learning the tech stack and all. It's the learning curve has gone significantly down. Yeah, and apart from that, the trends to watch is obviously like use generative AIs, and like they work really well today, and they're getting better every day. So AI is getting baked into every product. Try to see like what are all the repetitive things that you do in your life that you can automate with AI. And yeah, to prepare, I would say keep your fundamentals strong because the basics would never change. Let's say AI writes a code for you. If you don't verify it and you just ship it, if it, if it gets messed up, you are the one who will be responsible, not the AI. So keep your fundamentals strong. Validate what AI is doing for you. And so at Microsoft, we have a product called Copilot, but and it's not called Autopilot. It's called Copilot for a reason because AI will not replace you. AI will be by your side to help you improve what you are already doing. And yeah, just build stuff and stay curious and adapt to the whatever new tech comes, just adapt to it as quickly as possible. And yeah, before you go, a few tips I would say like be consistent because when you're consistent, this you won't have this last minute panic situations and keep your fundamentals strong. And it's okay to take a break from time to time to recharge and like that keeps the balance going. And yeah, dream big, I would say. Yeah, that is it from my side. Thank you all. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn and over my email. You can also find me on social media. Just search for Ultraboost Microsoft. You will find me on Google. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
So thank you so much to both of you. I think that was very interesting and inspiring too. So now the students are eagerly waiting to ask their questions. So are we ready to take up that? Students, are you ready with your questions? We have students from both Damdam and Barashat branch. So the first question is from whom?
Students can come in front and ask questions so that it's audible.
Students, you can, yeah.
It's not audible. Can you come in front and ask questions near the mic area?
Question is to Dr. Nandini that when you were in school, were you always interested in studying economics or did that interest develop later?
Okay, I will repeat the question just to make sure I heard it right. So you were asking me whether I always knew I wanted to study economics or did it come later on, right? Or yeah, so as I said, I liked math a lot and also I liked literature. So I think I really I really understood that I wanted to study econ in class 12, like the beginning of that time, where I was like, okay, because in 11, the econ was very basic econ, but in 12, it started getting serious. So I was just looking for, okay, where can I still study human behavior? Because in literature, my favorite part was analyzing all the characters, right? Like, why did a character behave like this, or the development through Hamlet, or all those like why did the person do what they did. And that was something a question I was interested in, but I also loved math. Like I was always like the top scorer, and I just loved that like I was so good at it. And econ was the only subject which let me do both, because I was still studying human behavior, like why do people behave this way. But it is so funny because econ let me put human behavior in a mathematical way. Like I could put numbers, assign numbers to people's choices and all of that. And that was it. Like I was like, okay, this is something which is letting me do both. Hope that. And so I was like, yeah, in class 12, more or less, I was decided that I'm doing econ. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much. Next question.
My second question is for Rohan Biswas. What made you realize that marketing was a better fit for you than engineering? And how did you make it happen?
Good question. Um, I'll not say it's better. It's a two very, very different sectors to work with. It is about interest, and that is something I come back to is what is something that will make you wake up every day to go back to work. And I did not think engineering would be that something that would make me interested in doing it. And I think marketing was more dynamic to me and gave me more opportunities to talk with people, and that is something I value more. So in that way, I made the choice. It's not about a better choice. It's always both the choices are good. It depends on the personality and who is choosing it. So yeah, that's my answer.
Thank you so much.
You?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nirjar Paul from class 12. My question to Aritra Bose Dada is that as a student of PCMB background, can I choose my career in computer science and software engineering? And even if I can you please share some tips for that?
You have PCM, you said, right?
Yes, I'm a biology as a subject.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to pursue computer science, you already have PCM. You can like it's the usual way. You give the JEE exams. You like any kind of entrance exams you give with PCM. You can do it, and yeah, then you join college. You uh, even if you don't take CS branch, the thing that has happened over the past couple of years is that uh, all the jobs are getting shifted more towards this IT companies and all. So like many of my friends, they were from mechanical background, from electronics, electrical. They're all doing IT jobs now. So and for like preparation tips, I would say problem solving is a huge skill. So there's a concept of data structures and algorithms. There are like multiple platforms for it that you can just, it's like a sport. You solve problems, you solve it fast, you win contests, you show off in your resume, you get shortlisted for interviews, and the interview is exactly the same as what you have been doing, solving coding questions. So yeah, that's how you can do it.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My question is for Dr. Aditya Academy. So, for students who are curious about AI, but they don't know where to start, what would you recommend they do while still being
Let me repeat your question. I'm not sure I got the full bit of it. So your question is for students who are curious about AI, but they don't know where to start. What would I recommend they go through? So I think a lot of the fundamentals, because AI is developed. There's a lot of math that goes behind AI development, a lot of computer engineering. So you need to understand why things work, how things work, like basic mathematical things, definitions, basic mathematical properties like matrices, matrix multiplications. Those are the things that will come in handy. And at the same time, a lot of AI is going to be used in applications now. So there is a lot of scope for applications in biology, in economics, in physics, everything. So what helps is understanding the systems in detail. There are no shortcuts, obviously. So you have to understand how an AI can fail. What are the exact ways? Try to be rigorous in anything that you learn, so that you cannot always blindly trust what AI is spitting out. So you have to be able to check. So there is no way you can trust an AI completely. So the short answer is, yeah, that.
So can we have the students from Aditya Academy Senior Secondary Damdam, please?
They are possibly muted.
Yes, can you unmute, please?
Sorry.
Mic is- Yeah.
So, first of all, hello and good morning to all my respected teachers, or the alumni present here, and my fellow mates. I am Srimoy Vishash, an 11th grader studying in Aditya Academy, parallelly a NEET aspirant as well. So So I want to ask Dr. Nandini Das ma'am that how did you discover your strengths and interests, and what would be your suggestion to the students who are still trying to find out theirs?
Yeah, there is only honestly one way you can do this. It's mostly, trial and error. It feels like I've always been in econ, but during the start of my PhD, I was doing some completely another line of research, and I changed my research area after my third year of my PhD. So that was like a new discovery, and I started doing research on something that's completely opposite. So there is no way until you should spend a lot of time with yourself and with the thing you think that you love to really unravel that. There is no shortcut to that. But the second thing, which I wanted to talk about, but I think I missed during my time, was like you need to talk to a lot of people who are doing what you think you want to do. Like you don't know how important networking is. I think that's something that I didn't know, and I learned when I later on in my career that whether you're in an industry or in academia, wherever you go, you need to talk to the right people. There are always like some people who are very experienced, and that experience will take you to places, right? Everything like starting from getting a job, right, to getting an internship or any opportunities, cracking an exam, you need to talk to a lot of people and build that network. You need to know who's important in that field. And networking takes you a long way. So, first, spend a lot of time with people, with the thing that you love to understand yourself, whether you really like that. And second is talk to a lot to people who are doing what you want to do and at different levels, right? Like 3 years down the line, 10 years down the line, what does their lives in 40s look like? If you think you want to be a software engineer, how does the life of a 40-year-old software engineer look like? So those are two things advice I think that I started doing the first one really early on because I spent a lot of time with econ, with physics, and I realized I don't like physics as much as I like econ. But second is the networking aspect I learned later on, right? Like I just talked to a lot of people who are doing what I want to do. And when I saw academicians, I was like, okay, that's the life I want. Um, we have something like a tenure, which is like a permanent position. They cannot fire you from an university. I saw tenured professors going for fishing at the middle of a work day. Like on Monday afternoon, they're going for fishing and they're not having to work. And I was like, I love this. And they spend a lot of time. There's not like, but they're thinking about research 7 days, right? There's a saying in academia is like, yeah, you're free to work on any of the 7 days of the week. So you're working all the time in your head. So it's really you just it's hidden trial. Like you have to do that, and also like of course talk to people. Just talk to as many people you can. Do keep on networking. Yeah.
Morning, I'm Jasmita Ghosh Bhattacharjee, and I'm from 12th grade. I have a question for Sir Rohan Vishwas. My question is, did your marks or academic stream or early expectations ever make you feel restricted, or did your true career direction come later in life with more experience?
I think I'll extend the point Nandini said here. It's people right now have a very tunnel vision. When you're very early in your life, you have, like for me, when I was in my class 10, I only knew 2-3 careers that we used to have, which is commerce, science, and as you go more into stuff, you learn animations. There are data engineers. I love sports. There are sports engineers. There are sports data analysts. But there are something that you will learn with exposure. And at a very early age, people do not have those exposures. There are now applications. There are internet. If you do it, if you use it in the right way, you will get those exposures. But you'll put a lot of pressure on yourself. I think sometimes it's better to learn on the way. And but as Nandini said, you have to interact with people. You have to be open to interaction with a lot of people, if you're conflicted between two careers or two paths that you want to go into, talk to people from both of the paths. Learn about how their day looks like, and then think of yourself in that type of a day. Would you like to be part of such a hustle? For example, I have a hustle of around 12 hours a day, but that doesn't feel like a hustle because I love traveling and my job involves a lot of traveling. But there are certain type of people who might not like traveling a lot. I like to travel on my company's money, honestly. So that is an incentive for me to travel more and then work as well. So I don't see it as a problem, but for some it might be a problem. So in that way, it is there's again, for various questions there is never a yes or a no answer, and you learn more into a life when you know that, and if you learn that early, that is better. So that will be my answer, and if you have any follow up, I will be happy to take it.
Hello, and a very good morning to all my respected teachers and all the alumni present. My question will be to Dr. Aditya Bose. For students aspiring to work in top technological companies, our projects and internships play a very significant role when compared to academic grades and excellence.
Can you repeat the question? I didn't get it properly.
Repeat.
For students aspiring to work in top technological companies, does project and internship work play a significant role when compared to academic grades and excellence?
Yeah, projects, I would say, plays one of the biggest roles compared to, like, mostly in these big tech companies, they mostly won't care about your grades in college and all. I mean, there's a cutoff for the grade point that you'll be allowed to sit for the interviews and all, but that's not very high, to be honest. And but on the other side, the projects and problem solving part, that is what they give the biggest weightage on. Because when you are building projects, that's actually real world experience that they need in their company. So yeah, projects play a bigger role compared to academics.
Do we have any?
Right. Good morning. I'm Santosh Basu. I'm from the Humanities Stream. My question is to Mr. Aditya Academy. So there are many ethical concerns regarding artificial intelligence tools, especially the environmental impact that each data center has and how much water it consumes. So how important is it to be mindful about sustainability while using AI tools in our everyday life?
Extremely. I think that is going to be one thing that is going to impact your generation and the coming generations most of all, more than others. And AI is a tool, but every tool, every opportunity comes at a cost. So you have to be mindful of the reward and the risk involved with it, and that's a trade-off that you need to take into account. And climate change is a concern, global warming is a concern, and all of these are mostly accelerated by as much AI you are using. So these are very important considerations that you need to take into account while using the tools.
So it's truly amazing to see the heights our alumni have reached in so many different fields. I really feel proud of them. So their journeys are a testament to the strong foundation provided by Aditya Academy. So as we draw to a close, I would like to invite our COO ma'am of Aditya Group, 𝐀𝐋𝐔𝐌𝐏𝐈𝐂𝐒 ma'am. So first, I would like to invite ma'am to offer the reflections on the event and gratitude to all. Can we have you, ma'am?
Hi, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Hold on. I'm trying to include devices. Yeah, sure. It was really wonderful. Is the echo still on?
Yes, ma'am. The echo is there.
Is it better?
Yes,
Yes.
Sorry, I'm still learning. Well, okay. So, firstly, thank you so much for this wonderful session. Oritra Guho, Oritra Bose, Nandini, Rohan. I mean, I didn't have the opportunity to be associated with you during your school days, but I keep hearing about you all a lot from Savita ma'am and the rest of the team. Um, I mean, it's you don't know. I really have goosebumps. We have been trying our heads in and out to create this kind of a platform for our alumni who can guide our existing students. I see so many students sitting in both the campuses, and I'm sure it has given a good learning for them, and we wish to continue this kind of platforms. And it's an open invitation to all of you to visit as much as possible to the school, and relive your school life once again. I know it's difficult for people who have joined us from far off, but still, I'm sure you people must be coming down to India, and please do come and visit our school. We'll be more than proud to kind of host you all. So far as Rohan and Arithro Bose is concerned, you can come down anytime, right? So please make sure you're coming down and you're having interaction with our students, because that is the most important thing, when experience talks. I really liked what Rohan said, and I think even Arithro said that grades doesn't really matter once you are, like on a threshold of your career. If you are enjoying what you're doing, you just go with the flow. Like for me, I enjoy talking, so if you give me the mic, I'll keep on talking, right? So do what makes you happy. That should be the goal in life. And I think that was a brilliant conversation that we have had today. Also, thank you so much, Univariety. I mean, we are really proud to partner with you all. Thank you so much to the heads of the institute and the entire team of Aditya Academy who have, made this possible. I will not take much time, but yes, again, I think it was a pleasure from my end to attend this. Trust me, I was there throughout the session, and I was enjoying each and every conversation. One note to my current students: all the panelists, they have shared their email ID, their LinkedIn profiles. So be in touch with them, because the more you talk, as Nandini said, it's important to have a network to have that experience, because they are living it. You're still aiming at it, right? So it's always better to be connected with all of them. And I'm sure there'll be more such sessions for each one of you. I know your exams are coming up like round the corner, but still, it is really nice to see that all of you have taken this time out to come and attend the session. Brilliant. And I think I would not take much time. Thank you so much. We were also live on YouTube, so you can always fall back to the link and watch and listen and implement it impactfully to your own lives. This is just not a virtual session that we intend to do for a session, but yes, the intent is, for you people to take something back home. All right, when you go back home, think about what we were hearing, the experience, the thoughts. It's not important to be a brilliant student all the time to flourish in your career, in your life. You should always remember that we have to be good humans first, and we have to enjoy being good human, and life will fall accordingly. Right? Thank you so much once again to everybody on behalf of the entire Aditya Group management. I really am very proud that we could do this today. Thank you once again. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am. So this will be a very remarkable and a memorable day for me also. So on behalf of the school, we sincerely thank all our alumni for taking the time to share their journey and insights, and our students for being such an enthusiastic audience. So your presence and participation have truly made this event a resounding success. So we will continue to bring such more curated alumni sessions, as ma'am has already mentioned. So it will help you to explore your career, gain clarity, and stay ahead. At the same time, you don't have to wait for these sessions to ask your questions. With a growing network of around 500 plus alumni, the school has provided you with a unique opportunity through the Univariety platform. So you can connect directly with the seniors, learn their journey, and seek guidance whenever you need it. So we strongly encourage all the students to create and actively use their profiles on the platform and make the most of this powerful network. So thank you once again, and we look forward to seeing you all again. Have a fantastic day ahead. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.